NBC Golf Channel on EA Sports, in association with the PGA Tour, proudly presents the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live opening round coverage of the Arnold Palmer Invitational. Setting up for a 210-yard shot here to the par 3. Action continues at the 7th. Been a steady performance so far early in this first round, but at some point, Frank, they need to take steady to spectacular.
Yeah, I think that's a good point, Rich, and really sooner rather than later, that's for sure. But, yeah, steady becomes boring if it stays on for too long.
Well, this one should be safely on deck here. And it generates some momentum here at the 7th hole. This for birdie.
Now it's at sneaky distance.
Well, that's a bit disappointing.
I guarantee you, though, she thought she had that one.
Just a couple of feet. Frank, that's a par, and onward we go. Now at the 8th, and Frank, this really is a clever design, fun hole to play.
Very pretty hole. That bunker down the left, just over 300 yards. Ideally, you just work it off that bunker.
This is position A, right in the fairway, and 180 yards to go. Had the club face open just a bit at impact, and that one moves considerably to the right of the flagstick. She's regarded as an excellent putter. Here another chance for birdie. So a long putt there and just didn't read it quite right. Shouldn't be a problem here, but not a formality either. That's costly right there.
Painful. Even par currently. I don't think a tourniquet is going to work after that one.
Tough to watch. Final hole now of the front side. It's a 474-yard par 4. And Frank, you've played it before. What works best here?
Well, ideally a nice little draw off the tee. But the hole's quite weird because the tee shot shapes to the left and yet the green goes the other way.
Great swing, good rhythm and tempo. She's ended up on the fairway and with such a good lie. So many more options available now. Nice position, short grass, second shot. Chance to close out the front side here with a birdie. This is a 22-foot putt. Comfortably inside the cut line, the young prodigy makes another birdie. Beautiful day here at the Bay Hill Club and Lodge in Orlando, Florida. The great weather. Frank, how do you get off to a great start here on the back nine?
Trying to avoid those three bunkers, two on the left, one on the right, but it's one of the few holes that moves to the right. So if you can just smoke one over that right bunker, just a sand iron in there.
Looks to be a good setup going into the green here at the 10th. Probably going to have to hit one more club here, Frank. A little bit uphill. Appears to be what they call a commercial play. Very solid. Not too bad, about 25 feet away.
Chance for back-to-back.
Very well done. Almost made it.
Yeah, there'll be no stress for the next one.
Settles in over the putt. That's a par, and that keeps the scorecard clean, still even for the round. Second round coverage coming your way tomorrow. For our entire crew, I'm Rich Lerner alongside Frank Navalo. So long for now. NBC Golf Channel on EA Sports, in association with the PGA Tour, proudly presents the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. It's second-round coverage of the Arnold Palmer Invitational. We're at the Bay Hill Club and Lodge in Orlando, Florida, site of one of the PGA Tour's premier stops, the Arnold Palmer Invitational. Always attracting a great field, and through the years it has been the scene of just some championship play from one guy in particular.
Tiger Woods has won there an incredible 8 times.
Another par 4 here, the 11th. It's just under 440 yards. This time there's water looming left and then bunkers on the right-hand side. It's a pretty good challenge, Frank.
This hole's very similar to the third hole on the front side. 2 bunkers down the right side. Just got to keep it a little left. You don't have to hit driver here.
She had a good shot off the tee, and now she has all sorts of options available. Let's see what she does here. Frank, on an uphill shot like this one, did you do anything differently in terms of your setup over the ball?
Yeah, I made sure the ball wasn't too far forward, because on an uphill shot, there's always a struggle to get all your weight going forward.
Seems to like it. Headed for the fat part of the green. Well, she just played a wonderful shot from back there. Shouldn't be a problem here. Frank well off the pace, but the true professionals, they keep digging, trying to get better. Always nice, Frank, to put the peg in the ground coming off a birdie.
Well, this game's all about reward, and we just saw that back there. Now, can you be rewarded 2 holes in a row? Tom Weiskopf was one of my idols growing up. I loved the way he swung. That swing right there reminds me of my idol.
It looks like Rory McIlroy, Frank, sticking the follow-through. Second from an excellent lie. So after the layup, Frank, here at the par 5 12th, hit shot here, try to make birdie.
Yeah, just use the contours of this green. You can actually get to this flag a lot of different ways. Using one of the mounds, there's nothing wrong with that.
Chance for birdie after that beautiful shot. Makeable putt right here, currently sitting at 1 under for the round. Has the birdie to move to 3 under par for the championship. Frank, this is an interesting hole. It's the par 4 13th, and it isn't necessarily a driver off the tee. What are the options?
Yeah, you break it down. 250 off the tee leaves 120. There's nothing wrong with playing the hole that way. You get a little over-ambitious here and run out of fairway. That second shot over water. Whoa.
Just a good solid tee shot right there, about 280 yards. Par 4 13th, Frank, how do you hit this approach shot?
Rich, it's the first par 4 at Bay Hill where the water is actually on the right of the green, and that has to be taken into consideration. Just a little errant shot, and then you're going to be wet. So a little left of the flag, that's where you want to be.
should be pretty good right there. On the safe side. So a chance for birdie after another solid approach shot. 15 feet away. Moves into the top 25 with that birdie. Frank, now to the 14th of par 3, and how difficult is this hole?
Once again, very narrow entry into the green, so ideally you want to fly the ball a little higher than normal, make it soft, make it land a little softer.
Didn't check, Frank.
Yeah, just not enough spin on that, really. I mean, that almost like took that first bounce and just ricocheted forward.
Now from the bunker.
Yeah, just a little splash out on this par 3.
Frank, that reminds you of maybe what, the greatest bunker player of all time? These putts keep the round together. Been a little too much of that, Frank, just sort of ho-hum pars. Third round coverage comes your way tomorrow on EA Sports. For Frank Nobilo and our entire crew, I'm Rich Lerner saying so long for now. NBC Golf Channel on EA Sports, in association with the PGA Tour, proudly presents the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live third-round coverage of the Arnold Palmer Invitational. Frank, great golf course and great man behind it.
Oh, it certainly is. Anytime you get a chance to play the King's Golf Course in Arnold Palmer, that is a pleasure. Hosted the Arnold Palmer Invitational for so many years now and always produces a worthy champion.
Arnold Palmer bought it in the 1970s. Through the years, Frank, it wasn't unusual to see Arnold roaming the grounds, hitting golf balls, playing in that regular game. They call it the shootout. He's still pretty competitive.
No, he is, that's for sure. Yeah, he'll sneak out there, do a little bit of practice beforehand. He does not like to hand over his $20 note.
It's a tough golf course, Frank, with a really exciting finishing stretch.
There's enough water there to tempt the faintest of hearts, that's for sure, and also steal a dozen or so golf balls.
And it's been the scene of some really incredible moments. I think back to Robert Gomez as a rookie holding out with a 7-iron on the final hole to beat Greg Norman.
Yeah, Matt Every won in 2014. Of course, Tiger Woods has literally owned this golf course, winning 8 times. And, of course, the last of which was in 2013.
Second shot coming up here at the par 5. Frank, tricky little third shot here at the par 5 fourth.
Especially if you don't have a full number, because there's just that little mound in the middle of the green. If you get on the wrong side of that, instantly you can be 30, 40 feet away. So check where the flag is. Is it front? Is it back? And then try and land it in that section.
Well, this one should be safely on deck here. Birdie try up next. A good 29-foot putt here. Frank, that is nothing more than a punch to the gut.
Oh, it's cruel, Rich. Good putt and deserves so much more. Another shot added, though.
I mean, takes the wind right out of your sails. Always take that. Good par putt right there. Frank, what's the play here off the tee? Is it driver, or do you play it safe with an iron?
A lot of the times that's predicated by the wind, Rich. If you've got a trailing breeze, driver is very much in play. Otherwise, just poke a little iron down the right side.
Frank, one of the real privileges of broadcasting at Bay Hill is when we get a visit to the booth by the king himself, Arnold Palmer.
Yeah, he has so many stories. I love when he talks about the way in which his father, Deacon Palmer, first taught him how to grip a golf club. He said he put his hands on the club and he said, son, don't let them ever move, and you'll play golf forever and a day.
That one is in the fairway, down there about 290 yards. Frank, what about this approach shot here at the fifth?
One of the few holes where you get a short iron in your hand for that second shot, but that green slopes away at about a 45-degree angle to the right, which makes distance control paramount here at 5.
Terrific golf shot, and now that for an easy birdie. She's regarded as an excellent putter. Here another chance for birdie. Frank, the good players continue to play good golf, even if they're not winning or in the top 5.
Yeah, that position's starting to look a little brighter than what it was at the beginning of the day. Now in the top 25.
Frank, the tournament scoring record was set by Buddy Allen. That was way back in 1973. A whopping 23 under. That's like a video game score.
Yeah, they made sure that would never happen again. They lengthened the golf course. They firmed up the greens. They sped them up. They did everything to make sure that nobody, including you, ever shoots 23 under here again.
Beautiful looking shot right here. Just what you want in the right position on this par 5 in the fairway.
Second shot. That's an absolute beauty.
All right, Frank, you've played it safe. Now you have that third shot. What's the best way to get to that hole location and make the birdie?
The angle of the green really does favor the layup shot because at least you're hitting across the length of the green, but it's a little bit like that third hole, a very narrow green. So once again, that wedge shot has to be very precise.
Seems to like it. Looks like it's headed for the green. Just a superb shot.
You're not going to see much better than that all day today.
Frank going for another birdie here.
Just to get on a real roll.
So into the top 15 on the leaderboard with that birdie. A few more, and who knows, maybe top 10 or top 5. Frank, the good news as you come to the 7th after that beast of a par 5 is that it's just under 200 yards and there's no water.
Yeah, it's not as long as the second, but it's just as demanding. Very narrow entry into this green.
Frank, I think that's going to the bunker.
Looks like it.
You got away with one right there. Just missed that bunker.
Yeah, that looked like it was sand the whole way. It's that sneaky distance.
Starting to move on this leaderboard now, Frank.
It's got a nice look to it, like a who's who.
Frank, how about the 8th par 4, one of the more intriguing setups?
Ideally, you want to just work your tee shot away from that bunker. But this is one fairway you must hit because it's one of the toughest second shots on the golf course.
Getting set for this next shot from the rough, what does the player need to be careful of here, Frank?
Well, this is where we're going to see exactly how good they are because, that's not exactly the best lie, but it's sort of doable if you know what you're doing.
This has really been impressive. High level of golf today, putting on a clinic out there. Into the tall cabbage. That ball is swallowed up. Frank, this is where the mental game really comes into play. You've hit a second consecutive shot into the rough.
This could compound very, very quickly. So now's a chance to just take a little breath, take a breather, and try to make sure this shot certainly gets out.
Frank, at this, the highest level of the game, the margins are so razor thin between winning and losing. It becomes about not wasting shots, and I think that's why players really enjoy stroke play.
I think you hit the nail on the head, Rich. That's why the best players, they want every shot to count, and the best format of golf that requires that is stroke play. In match play, you can get away with a big number. In stroke play, they want it to be a body of work. Every single shot adding to the score.
So, Frank, with this approach shot, need to put it in there reasonably close and hope for a bogey.
Yeah, and that actually wouldn't be so bad. A string of mistakes, and just to minimize the damage to just one drop shot, you nearly give yourself a pat on the back.
Seems to like it. Headed for the fat part of the green.
Well, she just played a wonderful shot from back there.
Shouldn't be a problem here. Not her best effort, walks away with a bogey. So through 3 rounds, just outside the top 10, what kind of a chance do you give a player who is sitting outside the first 10?
Yeah, it's slim. I certainly would not say none, though, Rich. We've countless times over the years seen someone post an early one in and watch the leaders crumble at the end. Good opportunity tomorrow. Put a good round on the board and then just sit back and wait. And then remember, there's also the chance of a playoff.
NBC Golf Channel on EA Sports, in association with the PGA Tour, proudly presents the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live final round coverage of the Arnold Palmer Invitational. Hello again and welcome, Rich Lerner, alongside my friend Frank Nobilo. We're here in Orlando, Florida, the house that Arnold built, the Bay Hill Club and Lodge. Frank, what are some of the toughest shots out on this golf course?
Second shot into 8 comes to mind when you've got that sort of long water carry to a very thin green. Probably only a club or so deep there, so it's very hard to get that to land soft. 17 and 18 are always difficult for any level of play. 17, the green is angled slightly to the right. Even though you're coming from an elevated tee, it's tough to judge the right club and get the ball to land softly. And, of course, there's always the finishing hole that has to be navigated.
Right out of the center of the bat.
Did you hear that?
That is tasty looking right there, Frank. Just a perfect spot in the fairway.
That is prime real estate. How do you get a lie like that? Seriously, you could hit any club from there.
Second shot, good look at the green. Players bracing against these strong, gusty winds. Really a challenge out there. Appears to be what they call a commercial play. Very solid. No problems there. Really good approach shot. And now, good look at birdie. This is a 16-footer. That's a bit disappointing.
I guarantee you, though, she thought she had that one.
This for par. Frank, you can see by the reaction, it has been that kind of week. Just a few too many pars. Frank, as we come to the 14th of par 3, what's ahead for the players?
Once again, another tough par 3 coming up. Narrow at the front. It gets a little wider the further you go up this green.
That's a well-played shot, putting the ball right on the green.
Even par currently.
Well, there's an opportunity wasted.
Just knock it in for a par, and let's forget about this one. Golf is not about perfect, but it is going to hurt the cause.
Drops for a par. Now at the 15th, big dogleg right here. What's the best way to go, Frank?
Really down the left side. It's very tempting to try and hit it across that bunker, but not only do you have to carry the bunker, you've also got to carry those little shrubs down the right side. Oh, I liked that.
This, the second shot here at the par 4. Good, clean contact and a nice result, and a chance for birdie coming up. 18 feet from the bottom of the cup. I thought that was in.
Yeah, it looked good. I mean, line, pace, it's hard to be critical of that.
Settles in over the putt. Just drip that in.
Well, it's 4 1/4 inches. Use it all.
Frank, this is a great hole late in the round. Par 5 and a chance to really make up some ground or extend the lead. I mean, you can make some things happen here.
Shortest of the 4 par 5s and reachable for just about everyone. But really, it's the second shot. The better the tee shot, the easier you make that second shot.
She had a good shot off the tee, and now she has all sorts of options available. Let's see what she does here. Second from an excellent lie. Into the thick stuff, that's a difficult lie. Frank, in golf, as we know, there's short grass and there's long grass. We all want to be in that short grass, but it doesn't always work out that way. So what's the most important element from the shot, from the rough?
You have to be a little bit more conservative first and foremost, because you can't guarantee a perfect strike out of the long grass. So therefore you have to look around the greens, maybe short, to the right, to the left, and realize what's involved. And also just give yourself a slightly bigger target. This is an awkward length. You'd like that one again.
Oh, man.
I just pushed it.
Boy, that hurts. Just a couple of feet. Got it for par. Frank, par 3 17th here at Bay Hill. How difficult is this hole?
This one takes your best tee shot, Rich. Otherwise, you're just looking at 4 or 5. Oh, this is right at it.
Respectable shot right there. 20 feet or so from the hole. She has a birdie opportunity right here.
Had every chance of going in.
These putts keep the round together. Has it. Frank, deep into a round, par 3 17th, water, bunkers, long shot. What are you thinking as you're stepping on this tee?
You just take 3 and move to 18.
Nice position, short grass, second shot. Not looking good, Frank.
I think it's wet.
Frank, you've just hit one in the water. You don't want to compound the mistake. What's the mindset here?
This one right here, you've got to forget that big blue oasis in front of you.
So the previous shot into the drink, this now the fourth shot.
Now, this is not heading in the right direction.
No, it looks like it's going to be in the rough. Frank, just a shade outside 15 feet.
Well, if you're going to be like that, Rich, it's 16 feet to be exact. Now, it's that sneaky distance. Now, as they say, 300-yard drive, one shot. Miss a short one, also one shot.
And that's painful. Tough hole has this now for double bogey. Frank, you know full well this can be a humbling game.
And an embarrassing game.
Well, that'll wrap up our coverage of the final round. This is Rich Lerner alongside Frank Novelo for EA Sports. We'll see you next week.
EA Sports and the PGA Tour proudly present the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live opening round coverage of the International Challenge.
Well, this golf course goes back a long ways, to 1878, in fact. We're at Royal Troon Golf Club in Scotland. Rich Schroeder alongside Frank Nobilo. And Frank, where are some of the scoring opportunities out here?
Well, normally when the Open Championships played, the breeze comes out of the sort of northwest, which means those first few holes are played down breeze and then the closing stretch is played into the breeze. So really you sort of make your hay on the way out and then you hang on for dear life on the way in. That doesn't really change because you have some rather short par fours to start.
She really hit that tee ball nicely. It is in perfect position, and now she'll have a chance to capitalize. This is the second shot at the par 4. Well, this one should be safely on deck here. That is a beauty, a real beauty. Shouldn't be a problem here.
Things pointed to a good week. Birdie there, very important right now.
Playing some good golf. Now to the 11th hole as we pick up with our featured golfer. Has not been a stellar performance to this point, but Frank, not too bad.
Now, when you consider 4-round events, Rich, you're going to have a period where there's a little lull. As long as you can minimize the damage over the course of 4 days, it turns out all right.
Beautiful looking shot right here. And safely on the fairway.
Once again, a good lie. That makes such a difference. Takes so many variables out of play. Second shot.
On the green, short, but plenty of real estate between the ball and the hole. Frank, this birdie putt is from downtown.
Well, if you want to build a skyscraper, you've got to knock a few of these in.
So a steady climber with the par into the top 10.
Yeah, another scrapper.
Back here on the bonny shores of Scotland at Royal Troon Golf Club with just a wee breeze, as they say over here, Frank. On the tee at the 12th.
Yeah, hole that bends to the right, gorse right and left. There's a bit of a mound and rough down the right side. That has to be avoided.
That one is in the fairway, down there about 290 yards. Second shot, good look at the green. Well, that's how you play the game, right there. So a tester from 4 feet. Player knows they're on the move with that birdie. Quick glance at the leaderboard, they can see, Frank, they're not out of it.
Things are very volatile right now.
And now the tee shot here at the 472-yard, par 4 13th.
A hole that bends to the right, ideally hit it down the left side, and then you're playing to a raised two-tiered green.
It's a good spot right there.
Center cut.
Frank, I'm thinking back to 1989 in the Open Championship. That was sort of our first chance to see the new playoff format at the Open.
That's right, Rich. In 1985, they decided to have a 4-hole playoff, and that had been changed too. In 1964, they went from a 36-hole playoff to an 18-hole playoff, and the reason why? My fellow countryman, Bob Charles, won in a 36-hole playoff in 1963. They realized 36 was too much. I think 4 holes right now is just perfect.
Get down. Lay down. Didn't check, Frank.
Yeah, just not enough spin on that, really. I mean, that almost like took that first bounce and just ricocheted forward.
And setting up here in the rough. Okay, good shot on the dance floor. To save par. Frank, how does that par help his cause?
It certainly doesn't hurt it.
Frank, what kind of par 3 is the 14th here?
Well, you can get sucked in here. Just 180 yards, which isn't considered that long. But if you look too much at the front of the green, you're going to see that's where the protection is.
Into the thick stuff, that's a difficult lie. Nice par to remain at 2 under. Now at the 15th at Royal Troon Golf Club, 483-yard par 4. This, Frank, is one of the hardest holes in the course.
It's certainly a stout par 4 at that distance. If you're playing it into a head breeze, then 260 yards is certainly going to be a big tee shot. But 260 yards takes all the bunkers out of play.
This, the second shot here at the par 4. That one was running so hot. Pretty good shot right there. Did the job right there. Don't forget, second round coverage coming your way tomorrow here on EA Sports. For our entire crew, I'm Rich Lerner saying so long for now. EA Sports and the PGA Tour proudly present the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live second-round coverage of the International Challenge. Always great to be in Troon, Scotland, at the Royal Troon Golf Club, founded in 1878. Frank, it is a golf course, true links. It's bathed in history. Rich Lerner back with you at Royal Troon. Frank, first par 5 of the round. What's ahead?
The best opportunity for a birdie here is to take it over the bunker on the right. If you do that, you're going to get a little added roll. You can go in here even with perhaps a mid-iron or a long iron.
She's ended up on the fairway and with such a good lie. So many more options available now. Second from an excellent lie. Third shot, looking for a good one. This is a good-looking shot. That's well played. Now a good look at birdie.
It's no snack, though.
Frank had the touch of a plumber right there.
Yeah, you'd like a redo, wouldn't you? Wake up, wake up! Even par, currently.
In for par. Now to the par 3 fifth. Frank, what are you trying to do here?
Really, anything on this green is going to give you a birdie putt. So allow for the bounce and roll. Just avoid those 3 bunkers on the left and that short one right.
Getting set for this next shot from the rough, what does the player need to be careful of here, Frank?
Well, this is where we're going to see exactly how good they are because, that's not exactly the best lie, but it's sort of doable if you know what you're doing.
Frank, not close, but from that lie, not bad.
Oh, that's excellent. Seriously, given the conditions, Rich.
This would give her the par. Maybe lifted right there, just sort of peaked. Settles in over the putt. So another bogey on the scorecard. And Frank, what happened this week?
I think it's a week to forget, Rich.
What a good hole. They call it the slopes, and the rough off the right-hand side of the green, really some of the most punishing on the entire course.
And the one thing you don't want to do is actually leave it up there on that high side because it means that you'll be chipping downhill.
Good tee shot, good lie, and now a good chance to take advantage here on this hole. Second shot coming up here at the par 5. Setting up for an approach shot here. Appears to be what they call a commercial play. Very solid. Good chance now for a birdie. That was an outstanding play.
Well, it's almost a guarantee there after that shot.
Just a couple of feet.
Sneaking into contention here. That birdie.
Top 15 now on the leaderboard. Always nice, Frank, to put the peg in the ground coming off a birdie.
Well, this game's all about reward, and we just saw that back there. Now, can you be rewarded 2 holes in a row?
Beautiful looking shot right here.
Second shot.
Well played here. Went straight for the flagstick, and she will have a nice putt coming up.
Chance for back-to-back.
Well, that's a bit disappointing.
I guarantee you, though, she thought she had that one.
And getting ready for the putt. Solid par. And this is where Gene Sarazen, the Squire at the age of 71, in his farewell appearance at the Open, that was back in 1973, made an ace. How about that?
Amazing.
Seems to like it. Looks like it's headed for the green. On the green, and a chance for birdie. This is a good-sized putt, 27 feet away. That may have been a bit too much to ask for there, that distance putt, Frank.
Yeah, it's fine to be greedy before you hit the putt, but after you've hit it, 2 from that distance is fine.
She needs this for her par. Oh, man.
I just pushed it.
Boy, that hurts. Frank, this is just an embarrassing performance.
There's no crying in golf, Rich.
So 2 rounds in the books. Frank, that was fun.
It certainly was. It bodes well for the weekend. Saw a lot of good players that seem to actually have a good fit for this golf course. So that bodes well for the next 36 holes.
EA Sports and the PGA Tour proudly present the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live third-round coverage of the International Challenge.
Frank, through the years, there have been some great winners at the Open Championship played at Royal Troon.
Well, just in recent history, remember Mark Kalkovecchia in the playoff with Wayne Grady and Greg Norman. There was also Todd Hamilton when he beat Ernie Els in the 4-hole playoff. And back in 1996, Justin Leonard was to win his Open Championship.
Tom Watson also won an Open Championship here. Tom Weiskopf, his only major, that was 1973. The great Arnold Palmer, Bobby Locke, they all won at Royal Troon. should be pretty good right there. We're on the safe side. Certainly had enough power, just didn't have any touch. Okay, good shot on the dance floor. This is a 23-foot putt. Very well done. Almost made it.
Yeah, there'll be no stress for the next one.
Not going very well for her at this point. This is for bogey. Hard to be perfect in this game. That's a bogey. Now to the 601-yard behemoth par 5 6th hole. You can pay the steep price here, Frank, for a mistake.
You can. You can't reach this green with your tee shots, so there's no reason to even try. A good drive, if it bounds down the right side and will eventually go left, would perhaps give you a chance to reach this par 5 and 2. But this is one tee shot to concentrate on.
She had a good shot off the tee, and now she has all sorts of options available. Let's see what she does here. Nice position, short grass, second shot.
Now, this is not heading in the right direction.
It looks like it's going to be in the rough. Into the thick stuff, that's a difficult lie. Set to go, not an easy shot by any means. Just a bit offline.
Yeah, the hard work's coming up now, though. That's a long way away.
Birdie chance here on this very long putt. Looks like he just misread that. Shouldn't be a problem here, but not a formality either. Frank, you can see by the reaction, it has been that kind of week. Just a few too many pars. Ball's teed up, ready to fly here at the 7th.
Yeah, it's a slight elevated tee, so you see all the problems in front of you. A couple of bunkers down the left, 2 down the right, but it's links golf, so you know where you got to go. That's in between them.
Wow, way to the right here.
And there's rough over there. Yeah, it was a little over-ambitious.
The second shot now to the par 4. It is always so disappointing from that kind of a spot when you come up short.
Yeah, you're licking your chops over that one. A shot you think you could hit directly at the flag. Now, test for the short game.
Solid play, heart of the green. And it's a long way to the hole from here. Never easy. That is a painful bogey at the 7th hole. This from about 10 feet. I don't know if that was a misread or what, Frank, but that one hurts.
Yeah, she's certainly going to have to pick up her socks after that.
No one likes these. Putt for double bogey. Frank, how do you explain what we saw here?
It's a mess. It's probably the easiest way to put it. In this case of anything that could go wrong, not just probably, it did.
Frank missed the green off the tee.
Yeah, but this is certainly a tricky little shot coming up here at the par 3.
Frank, out of the rough, best to swing a little bit easier or get after it with all you have?
Well, a little bit in between. Obviously, it's going to require a little bit of strength to make sure that club keeps going through, but it's still the planning of the shot. Once again, check short. Is there anything I have to carry? And even remember, there's always the option of just simply pitching the ball down the fairway and taking your medicine.
Settles in over the putt. Good par. Frank, how does the front nine finish up with this par 4?
Well, the par 4 ninth is called the Monk. It's not overly long, 423 yards, dogleg to the right, just one bunker down the left to be avoided.
sets up well for a chance at the green here at the ninth. Second shot. Good look at the green. Appears to be what they call a commercial play. Very solid. Chance to close out the front side here with a birdie. 10-foot putt left.
Just a fraction too aggressive. Remember, line and speed go together.
Sometimes you want that birdie so badly, and all of a sudden you're faced with a lot of work, more work than you had hoped for, just to make the par. Good roll. Frank, what's a player feeling knowing they have one more round to go and they could have a chance at making a run and maybe win this thing?
No, it's a great feeling, Rich. At this point, really, it's just about whether you can handle the nerves. You know everybody up there is going to be feeling them.
EA Sports and the PGA Tour proudly present the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live final round coverage of the International Challenge. Located in Troon, Scotland, founded in 1878, Royal Troon Golf Club playing host to the Open Championship 8 times and is slated to host its 9th major championship in 2016. I'm Rich Lerner for EA Sports, and alongside me today, my friend and colleague Frank Nobilo. Frank, you've played in the Open Championship on a couple of occasions here at Royal Troon. It's a golf course that features some breathtaking scenery, and it can also serve up some breathtaking golf.
True links golf course, Rich. Relatively soft start can certainly lull you into that false sense of security, and then the golf course really starts to open up. That homeward 9, often coming back into a prevailing breeze, is very much a stern test.
Just a good solid tee shot right there, about 280 yards. Now playing the second here at the par 4.
Whoop, this is taken off on a weird line.
And it's going to be in the rough, it looks like. That's a bit offline in the rough. This requires a lot of speed through the ball. good was that, Frank, from the rough?
All right, that's amazing. That's a masterclass in short game.
Shouldn't be a problem here. That's good work. That's a good par right there. Now the lone par 5 on the back nine, the 16th, and while you might be thinking birdie here, you may want to think again. What are the options off the tee, Frank?
Well, really, there's only one option, and that's keep it short of that burn, which is 280 yards. So that makes that 540 yards play that much longer.
Right in the heart of the fairway, green light special. We're also seeing more long putters in the game.
Yeah, there's a choice. If you don't feel comfortable with a normal grip and you've got a few nerve issues, then you can, well, use a longer version, jam it in your chest, have a different fulcrum point.
Third shot, looking for a good one. Birdie try up next. Makeable putt right here, currently sitting at 1 under for the round. Pretty good stroke right there, just hit it through the break.
Well, it's that sort of distance. If it goes in, it's a bonus. Really. This is an awkward length.
Wow, I thought it was going in, just off the mark by a fraction. So another bogey on the scorecard. And Frank, what happened this week?
I think it's a week to forget, Rich.
Final par 3 here at Royal Troon. It's the 17th. And what kind of a hole is it, Frank?
Well, this takes your best long iron shot. Normally plays back into the prevailing breeze. You miss this green on the left, it will run all the way down the hill. The bunkers might look short, but if your tee shot isn't hit properly, it'll puff up into that breeze and certainly find a pot bunker.
Offline, and I think that one's headed for the rough. And it is not looking like a good lie. Second shot from the rough. It's on the way. Frank, not close, but from that lie, not bad.
Oh, that's excellent. Seriously, given the conditions, Rich.
And getting ready for the putt. Frank, that is nothing more than a punch to the gut.
Oh, it's cruel, Rich. Good putt and deserves so much more. Another shot added, though.
I mean, takes the wind right out of your sails. In for a bogey. Frank, how does this 18th hole here at Royal Troon stack up against some of the other finishing holes in major championship golf?
Rich, it's a stout par 4, 464 yards, so it's sort of in the ilk of a Muirfield or Royal St. George's finishing hole. And they've had some great 18th holes in Open Championships. This is actually called Craig End. It's the name of the old farm that was demolished at the turn of the century. So the 18th hole, it's certainly grown up and it's flourished to more than a farm.
That one is in the fairway, down there about 290 yards. Frank, this is a hole, number 18, where you don't want to be in a hurry to get to the clubhouse.
Yeah, there's out of bounds just off the back of this green, so you might want to keep that in the back of your mind. Don't go long.
Yeah, OB is just steps from the clubhouse. See a little bit off balance on the tee, and that one is going to be in the rough. Getting set for this next shot from the rough, what does the player need to be careful of here, Frank?
Well, this is where we're going to see exactly how good they are because, you know, that's not exactly the best lie, but it's sort of doable if you know what you're doing.
Well, Frank, obviously way too much club there.
You got to think something like that, or at least misread the wind. This is never going to sit down.
Pretty good shot right there. Just a couple of feet. Continues to roll the ball very well. So another tournament in the books, Frank, and what'd you make of this one?
Quality venue once again, Rich. The standard of courses we're seeing is excellent, and consequently, it's enabling the players to really play some great golf. So, I think golf's the winner today.